This video is going to be an in-depth review of the Asus CT8 TriBand mesh Wi-Fi. Yes, it comes with an asterisk. The short story is that it delivers on most of its promises except for one. Okay, maybe a few, but the good mostly outweighs the bad. Like McSpicy. Oh my god, McSpicy. I can only imagine like every McSpicy now is just spoiling, never to see the light of Singaporeans' mouths. Can I get an Fs in the comments, please? So back to the topic. I've been using this for about 2 weeks now, and this is a router that tries to do everything at once. It's trying to target everyone from people who are not as technically inclined and they want something simple to set up, to a niche of tech enthusiasts with advanced features that they want, like inbuilt VPN or even a file server. But the main reason, the important reason that you should be buying this Wi-Fi is to upgrade your crappy Wi-Fi with hopefully a simple solution. And maybe also to replace that crappy one from your internet service provider. Singtel, I'm looking at your shitty router. In terms of performance, we should look at two things: speed and stability. How does it perform in that respect? At its worst, meaning my master room toilet, which is actually 2 walls away, I experienced no signal drop. It covered my entire 3-room home with stable Wi-Fi. What about speeds then? Basically, there are two types of tests that I put the CT8 through. The external speed test from the ISP to my home, and the internal test that determines how fast the two CT8s actually communicate. Mesh Wi-Fis use Wi-Fis to communicate. And it's important to find out how fast that speed is because it gives us an idea on whether it performs well and if it's worth our money. For the geeks out there, I actually used iPerf3 and NetStat to gather data like signal attenuation and maximum data throughput. So the CT8 actually performs decent, average speeds of around 200 megabits per second. To put that in perspective, you could be watching a 4K Netflix like Spider-Man Far From Home, and your children, maybe 3 or 4 of them, I don't know how many children you have, maybe they're watching 3 or 4 HD YouTube videos and gaming at the same time, and still have free bandwidth. That's pretty amazing. Then since none of us can have McSpicy, and this may not happen to you unless you had Mala last night, but what if you're watching a really exciting episode of Game of Thrones on your phone and you're experiencing a stomachache? Fret not, because after rushing to the master room toilet, you can still stream 4K Game of Thrones and watch someone die in that toilet. So if you recall, I mentioned that there were some problems. The first is that it only comes in a pair, and that pair costs $450, depending on where you buy it from. At that price, the Linksys Velour is also a TriBand option, also $450, but it comes with 3 units. And while I cannot be certain about Velour's performance, what I can say is that 3 pieces usually yields better range, but maybe they trade on raw speeds. However, Asus offers a really interesting option for existing users lah. So if you have an Asus router at home and it's compatible, you can actually connect the CT8 to the, for example, if you have a RT-AC86U, you can connect these two together and it becomes integrated as a mesh. And this feature isn't exactly limited to Asus. Linksys and D-Link actually does the same thing. But if you want to know the entire catalog of routers that can turn into a mesh under Asus, links in the description down bar down below. That being said, if you're buying brand new and setting it up, I felt that Asus could have simplified the process even more. My setup wasn't seamless the first time, and there was some missing information that I felt was important to properly get it up and running properly. From start to finish, Asus, the process, it feels a little complicated for everyone. So maybe they can try and simplify that, because mesh Wi-Fis are supposed to solve 2 very important issues: Wi-Fi and complicated router setups. It's supposed to be easy and painless process for people who know nothing about tech. Let's start with the unboxing process. When I opened up the box, the first thing I saw were 2 mesh units. Fine. This is where Asus should have included a QR code that links us to either the iOS or Google Play App Store and let us download the Asus router app, because someone might have disconnected their entire setup and had no Wi-Fi except 4G and had to waste their mobile data to download the app. Yeah. I mean, sure, it's at the side of the box, but it's at the side of the box. When you open up the box, you don't exactly look at the sides, right? Given how the packaging opens up. Then I wasn't aware that the setup process requires Bluetooth, which meant I had to stand really near to the router to ensure a smooth process. And some of us don't actually turn on our Bluetooth by default. So at the start, it'll be good to inform us that the setup uses Bluetooth. Finally, the app design itself. It feels unpolished. It looks complicated, a little too advanced looking, and it might feel intimidating to people who aren't technically inclined. Well, this is good for home users who have like tinkering knowledge on tech. The money actually goes to the masses. You should be putting the money in the masses, investing in them, and then Asus just prioritize simple people first. Offer a simple and easy solution for literally everyone. Because everyone also means a niche group of tech people that can tinker with the advanced features. So when you make a simple setup process, I think you're gonna strike a pot of gold. Overall though, I think Asus is moving in the right direction. They've created a product that delivers quality Wi-Fi through decent speeds and stability, even though the setup process is a little bit complicated. That being said, the countless features inside the CT8 along with the ability to connect older networking from Asus's line is amazing. And unfortunately, that brings me to my last pain point. At the start, I said that the CT8 is a TriBand with an asterisk. By default, the third Wi-Fi GHz is reserved to connect the two CT8s. But if you decide to connect the two using Ethernet, so you plug it in directly using cable, that third 5 GHz radio is actually turned off by default. Asus isn't the only company that does this. If you look online, Linksys Netgear does the same thing. Future right here. So apparently my camera overheated and I lost some footage, so I have to refilm this. But basically what I wanted to say was that if you're using Ethernet backhaul, the third 5 GHz Wi-Fi band actually stops working by default and you have to manually enable it. And in doing this, the customers actually buy a TriBand router to end up using dual band. So Asus, maybe you can try and integrate like the third 5 GHz Wi-Fi band into your Smart Connect. I think that would be really amazing value for the customers when they don't have to manually turn on the 5 GHz band themselves. The third one, I mean. And well, basically this is the end of the review actually. So are you gonna buy the Asus CT8? Let me know in the comments below, or maybe if you're planning to look at something else. This is Ryan Reviews. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my video. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video pretty soon. Bye bye.